Hi, today we're going to talk about traveling to Disney World on a portable oxygen concentrator. So please, come on this magical journey. Hi, everybody. I just want to introduce myself first. My name is Ricky. I was diagnosed with pulmonary fibrosis after a fight with COVID pneumonia. I spent about a month in the hospital. Thought I was going to get off oxygen after being released from the hospital, but unfortunately, I found out 6 months after being out of the hospital that my lungs are permanently damaged and I'll be on oxygen the rest of my life. So instead of crying about it, got to learn to move forward and figure out how to live your new normal, right? So this was my first attempt at going on a major trip since all this has happened. It happened to me about 2.5 years ago. So this is my first go round. And when I was doing my research, trying to figure out, can somebody on oxygen um, enjoy themselves at a place like Disney World, I couldn't find a lot of information about it. I would call Disney, and the cast members really didn't have all the answers. So just doing my research, it kind of had me feared that a lot of people on oxygen don't make this trip. So I am here to make this video to help anybody who was in my position that might think, well, it'd be a waste of a trip for me to go all the way to Orlando, Florida and take this trip on oxygen. I'm here to tell you that is the furthest from the truth. I learned that Disney World is probably the most accommodating place in the world for people on oxygen. Now, just to kind of give you a little insight, I am from Ohio, so I've been to Cedar Point more times than I can count. Well, I tried to go to Cedar Point once since being on oxygen, and it literally was just a day of my wife pushing me around in a wheelchair. They only had one ride that I could get on oxygen, and that was because I could stay in my wheelchair and I wasn't, in need of. It wasn't a thrill ride. It was like a boat ride, which, if I'm not mistaken, I've heard they've since got rid of that ride. So even the one ride I could ride at Cedar Point here locally in Ohio, I can't even ride anymore because it's gone. But there's no way I could ride any of their roller coasters or any of the big thrill rides at Cedar Point. So those days for me are over, which is fine because I'm getting older and I got to do that when I was younger. So it's not a big deal. So the reason we decided we were going to go to Disney World is I have an older daughter that is a senior in high school this year. She's about to graduate here real soon, and I have a freshman in high school. Both of them are in the what we call Royal Guard. You might call it Flag Corps for their local high school. Well, they told us about a year ago we're going on a field trip. The kids are going to get to march at Disney World, and even the oldest, she got to sing at Disney Springs as well, because she's also a part of the show park. So she got to do double duty at Disney. And the first thing I thought a year ago was, I don't want to miss this. My life has been altered enough. Last thing I want to do is miss my kids performing at Disney World. It sounds like a opportunity of a lifetime, and I wanted to do it. So even if it was just me renting a scooter and driving around Disney World and them having fun, I was willing to do that because you do what you can for your kids. So I decided that I would do some research, and I really wasn't getting a lot of research very well when I was doing it. So I didn't know when I went if I would get to ride the rides, if I would, I knew I could probably watch shows and stuff. And Disney World's full of that stuff. So I figured, at least there will be stuff for me to do, but my kids are going to love it. So I went ahead and just went in it like, hey, I'm going to do this. We'll figure it out as we go. But I didn't have a lot of help beforehand. Well, I just came home and I would like to share my experience with you. So hopefully, not hopefully, I hope you're not. I hope you're all well and able bodied. But obviously, if you're watching this video, you might know somebody or you might be on the oxygen like I am. So decided to make this video to share my experience so you don't have that fear of, am I going to be able to enjoy myself at Disney? So first thing I had to do was I found out that I can't travel with my oxygen tanks. So we're going to use a little Disney magic here. I have two oxygen tanks that I can refill. I actually got four of them, but I got two different types. I've got a bigger oxygen tank that holds 3 hours of oxygen, and I have a smaller one that holds two. But the problem is they need refilled. So here's the big one. Okay, so here's the big one. This one lasts me 3 hours, and I have a home fill machine that I'm able to connect the tip to the home fill machine, and I'm able to use that. And it's worked for me very well for the two plus years that I've been on oxygen ever since I got out of the hospital. Never really had any issues with it. But, I usually set an alarm on my phone just to kind of let me know when it's running out, because if you're on oxygen, you get used to that going up your nose and you just don't really pay it no mind anymore. So this is my 3 hour tank that I usually use. Well, here's the problem with these tanks. You cannot fly with these. So the first thing I realized was we're either going to have to take a really long road trip, which is hard for my wife's schedule because when I got sick, we reversed roles. Now she has a new job. She don't have as much time off, because she used to be a stay-at-home mom. Now I'm a stay-at-home dad. So traveling in the car to all the way to Florida from Ohio, that takes time and it's an issue. So we decided that if we're going to make this trip, we got to fly. So the problem with flying, though, is you can't take these on the flight. So that started my journey to figure out a different way to travel. My research led me to find out that I needed what's called a portable oxygen concentrator, or POC for short. So I had did my research, found the one I wanted, and God willing, a local charity group actually donated me one and was able to purchase me the machine I needed so I could go on my trip. So I want to say thank you to Catholic Charities for donating me a portable oxygen concentrator so it was possible for me to go see my kids march at Disney World. So I just want to say thank you. And I will show you that right now with a little Disney magic. We're going to get rid of the oxygen tank and I'm going to show you the POC. Wow, look at that. Little Disney magic. And now I've got a portable oxygen concentrator in my hand. We're just trying to have a little fun with this. So this is what's called the Inogen Rove 6. It's probably the newest Inogen machine I believe they have out. This is the machine that I was able to get. I have two of these batteries. The battery just slides on and off. There's a button here, but I'm going to leave it on for now. But I have a second battery for this, which I will also tell you, if you are traveling by plane and you're using one of these machines, you have to have two batteries. Now, I went and got the biggest battery I could get that was available for both batteries. I'm on 2 liters of oxygen, and anybody who is on oxygen and understands oxygen knows that if you're on a higher liter, you get less time. So the lower the liter, you obviously get the more time on a battery, or the tank that I just showed previously, it's the same rule applies. So the higher the liter, the less time you get. And I'm sure all of you, if you're watching this video, if you've watched it this far, you're already aware because you're probably either on oxygen or have family member on oxygen. I'm on 2 liters, and this is called the extended battery that they sell for the Rogue 6. And there's other models. You don't have to get the Rogue 6. This is just the model that I ended up getting because I figured I'd get the newest one. And this battery lasts me 10 hours of battery. So I actually had 20 hours of, if I was fully charged, I had 20 hours of battery life every day of my travel, which was huge because it means that I don't have to stop, go to a nurse's station, plug in, charge a battery. I was able to just enjoy the trip with my family. I didn't have to hold anybody up, and there was enough battery life to get me through the whole day. Now, having said that, I also suggest portable battery charger. Okay. This machine, I don't know if you can see it there. There's a hole there that you plug this in and it'll charge the machine. Okay. Straight from the wall. Definitely have your chargers with you when you don't forget your chargers. Definitely have your chargers with you. Do not leave your chargers at home. But this one will plug in with the battery already in the machine. It'll plug the, and it will not overheat. Inogen told me that these don't overheat. So I recommend you also get, I'm going to use a little bit pixie dust here, also a portable battery charger. Okay, so this is the portable oxygen, portable battery charger, or external battery charger, however you wanted to call it. I don't have all the cables hooked up to everything, but just your battery slides in here and you can charge your battery without the machine. Now, the reason I made sure to get this little device is because when you go to Disney World and say you have kids that want to be there from morning to night, you're not really in your hotel room charging things throughout the day. So I got this little bad boy in order to charge at night both batteries that I had used up. So you can charge one in the machine that I had just showed you, or you can charge one with this little portable battery charger. I also, so it's a very good thing if you're planning on going on a trip like this. Having both is very beneficial, so you don't have to only be able to charge one or the other at one time. It takes about, that 10-hour battery takes about 4.5 hours to charge. So the best time to do it would be while you're sleeping. So just kind of a heads up that these do take a little while to charge. So just know that going in. Also, I'd like to point out, I know earlier I said you needed 2 batteries, but I didn't really tell you why. And that's my fault. I'm going to go back to that. You need 2 batteries if you're traveling by plane, not just because it's a good idea, which it is, but because every step of the way at the airport, I got asked, do you have a backup battery? And it's something they will ask you when you do your bag check, when you get to the terminal, and before they wheel you onto the plane. They will ask you if you have an extra battery. So it is vital that if you're going on a trip like this, say you already have one of these POCs now and that's what you use on it every day. For me, it wasn't. I used the tanks every day until I had to find a way to travel because I hadn't tried to travel yet. Some people use these already, and I was new to it. But you do need 2 batteries or the airport will not, I don't know if they'll, nobody really searched me to make sure I had the extra battery, but just letting you know that they do ask, do you have a backup battery in case there's a delay on the plane or whatever the reason may be, they want you to have enough battery life to do your travel. So just be aware of that before you get on a plane and travel to Disney World or wherever you want to travel. So just be aware of that. So just wanted to talk about that for a little bit. Uh, Also, I want to talk about the different ways of holding your POC. Obviously, you saw me holding it because I wanted to show it to you guys, but I will now show you the way you can actually hold this equipment and what's good, what's best for the plane, and what's best for Disney World, which I'll give you my pros and cons of both. But let me start off with the book bag. So I'm going to go ahead and here it is. This is an official Inogen book bag. You can get on Amazon and they have book bags for these POCs all over the place. I just chose to get the official Inogen one because I knew it would fit. I didn't have to worry about it not fitting because it was the official brand. I will say that I use this ever since I've had this machine. I use this on a daily basis. It helps me because not only can you put your portable oxygen concentrator in it, but it's a book bag. So you can have whatever you need. I put my sunglasses in it. I put my regular glasses in it. I also put my extra battery that I have, and it's always with me. So I have my extra battery, which, as you can see, I have some Las Vegas stickers on it because the people at Inogen told me that you need to find a way to differ the two batteries so you know each one apart. If you have problems with the battery, you know which battery you're having issues with, or one's dead and the other one's still charged. You kind of can tell the difference. So I'm a big Raiders fan, and every time I buy something off the Raider Image store, they send me these stickers. So I've got like all these stickers anytime I ever get Raider merchandise from their website. I'm a grown adult, so what am I going to do with stickers? Well, luckily I didn't throw them away, and I was like, you know what? I'll stick my Raiders logos all over the battery. So that's what I did. So you do whatever you want. Going to Disney, put a Mickey Mouse or whatever your favorite Disney character is on it. I don't care, whatever you want to do. But that's what I did to differ the two batteries because I got two of the same size batteries also, which makes a difference. If you get a smaller battery and a bigger battery, it's not as big a deal. But I bought the same two sizes. So this is my book bag, but here's where the cons come in. When I was at the airport in Ohio, on the way there, I had to go through security, and I'm guessing because of everything I have in here, I also got on the trip I had my medicine in here. I also got my prescription. If anybody needed to see my prescription for my oxygen, I had it in here. So I had quite a few things in here. Well, they didn't give me my oxygen back right away. So after going through security, I'm thinking I'll be without my oxygen for maybe 30 seconds to a minute after they want to scan me, and then I get my machine back. Oh no, they decided to take my book bag to a second security TSA check, and they had to do another thorough check on it. So I don't know if it was my medicine, my sunglasses. I don't know what caused it, but I was without my oxygen for almost 10 minutes until my wife had to kind of say something to somebody like, hey, he needs his machine back. He can't go without for that long. What are you doing? So I did have a little hiccup at the airport using this. I will also, but to me, this was better on the flight than the other bag that I'm about to show you here in a minute. A lot of the reason is because this book bag sits up a lot better. If I sit it on the ground, it'll sit up, and I don't have to worry about it falling over because of the way the bag's designed. It'll sit flat. It's also got little kickstands here or whatever on the book bag. So it sits up properly a lot better than the other bag I'm about to show you. So for the flight, this was more comfortable for me to just put in between my legs or under the seat. And, if anybody who's used a POC before, they know that you got to keep it upright. You can't lay it on its back or inside. You got to keep it upright. You got to keep these vents clear to make sure it's getting ventilation on all, the two sides and the front. So for me, it was more comfortable. The plane ride there was more comfortable using this bag. But going to Disney World and on the way back, let me show you my other bag. We're going to use some Disney magic again. Oh, here we are. So this is my sling bag, okay? This is my Inogen sling bag. This is also an official bag, not from Amazon or nothing. And actually, when you order the machine off of Inogen, this actually comes with it. So they gave me this bag, which I'm very happy they did. The book bag I had to buy separately after getting the equipment. But this one actually, it comes with it. So I'll talk about the plane first. I'm going to fast forward to the end of my trip. When I went through security with this bag, all that this holds is the machine. So I don't have my extra battery. I have no sunglasses, no prescription, no medication, nothing. It's just a sling bag that literally is there to hold the machine. It's got the vents on every side in order for you to for your machine to breathe. But going through security in Orlando, coming home was a breeze. I had a woman who was great. She put it through the X-ray machine, sent me through the little scanner they send you through. I got back in my wheelchair. She had the machine right back to me. It was perfect. There was no, oh, we got to send this. She warned the X-ray tech, hey, I got an oxygen machine coming through. I need you to check it real quick so I can get it back to me. She was absolutely great. So a completely different experience in Orlando than I did in Columbus. But I kind of blame myself because of the book bag. I think having all the stuff in the book bag is why it took so much longer to inspect than it was with just the sling bag. So just a heads up, I would definitely maybe have your book bag in the carry-on and maybe utilize this for going through TSA. Now, having said that, I did not put my book bag in the carry-on. I put my book bag in our checked baggage. So I did not have my book bag with me when we got to the terminal and to board the plane. So I had to use this on the plane ride home. Now, here's the problem with the plane ride home. This does not stand up very well. You sit it on the ground. The bottom's not as flat as I would hope. So it tips over a lot, and you have to keep this upright for the machine to work properly. Otherwise, you get like an orange light and a beep, and it tells you, hey, you're doing something wrong or you're not breathing, whatever. So you got to keep it upright. So the whole flight, I have it on the ground, but I'm also holding this on my whole flight, trying to keep it upright, making sure it don't tip over. At some point, I put the tray down in front of me, and I was able to kind of lean it up against the chair of the person in front of me on the tray, and that worked out. So I wasn't holding it constantly. But just to warn you, this tips over very easily. Definitely when you're on a plane and there's maybe some movement, going on. It didn't stand very well, so it was kind of a pain in the butt for the flight. Luckily, the flight was only maybe less than 2 hours, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But just kind of a heads up that the book bag is a little bit more convenient when you're actually flying on the plane. But TSA, definitely this, because I did run into some issues with TSA with the other one. Now, it is time, I believe, to get into the magical part of the travel, which is Disney World. I know I've spent a lot of time on these machines, the bags, and the airplane, but now let's get into Disney World. And I'd like to talk about something while I still have this in my hand, then I can go into other parts of my trip. If it wasn't for this bag, I do not think I could have rode as much as I was able to ride. I think that book bag was too big, and I'm glad I brought this bag with me because had I just had the book bag, I think I would have been limited to certain rides just because there's certain rides that there's little pockets in front of your seat. And I was able to stick this bag, as long as I could stick this bag in that pocket, I was able to do it. Now that was on rides that were a little bit faster, like definitely Tron. Tron, if you've been to Disney World, there's a new ride called Tron. I think it's been out a couple of years now. It's a faster ride. I was shocked that I could ride Tron, but I asked the cast member at the front of the line. I was like, "Hey, will I be able to ride this?" "Oh yeah, we have a pocket you can put your oxygen equipment in. You'll be able to ride it just fine." I'm telling you, Disney World is the most accommodating place in the world for handicap, especially for me with an oxygen machine. I know not everybody's handicap has like a machine. Some people can't get up and walk and everything, but this for me having an external machine that I have to use definitely helped at Disney World. And they were so accommodating. There wasn't a single ride that I got turned away from due to my oxygen. And like I said, there is rides that it needs to fit in the pocket, or you might not be able to ride. But I was able to. There was a handicap seat for Tron. I was able to put this in that pocket and sit in the handicap seat. I think I've got a picture right here of me on Tron, and it was a blast. It was a good time. So there's a picture of me. And so anyhow, but it was a good time. But definitely this bag is what you want if you're going to be in the park and actually travel or actually ride the rides and enjoy the park. This is the bag you want. I did rent a scooter. I was able to put this in, like, there's a basket in front. And we also had like a bigger basket in the back. And I was able to put my bag after every ride. When I was in the scooter, I was able to just put it in the little compartment and drive around Disney World. And I was able to really enjoy myself. I just wanted to kind of share that information with you, that this is definitely the bag you want while at a theme park. This is my experience at Disney World. I know there's other theme parks around. We didn't do Universal. My two kids on the field trip did because they got to spend one day at Universal. But being my wife and my youngest daughter, we all stayed at Disney World for the week. So I can't speak on Universal, but I can speak on Disney World right now. We did go to all four parks. So that's the bag. Also, the next thing I want to talk about is magic bands. So here we're going to go ahead and do a little bit more Disney magic. So I'd like to talk about magic bands at Disney World while handicapped. Okay, so this is the magic band I wore. It's Disney 100 edition. I thought it was pretty cool. It's got Chip and Dale and I think Mickey and Minnie at the top there. They're upside down. One or the other is going to be upside down, but it's got the Disney 100 logo. This was my magic band. And I will tell you, it is not a requirement to get a magic band at Disney World. It is kind of extra. There's things that you can do that people without a magic band can't do, but it's not like deal breaker. Okay. You'll walk by, or in my case, drive by a little like a statue of a character, and it'll start lighting up. That character might talk to you. That statue might talk to you because you had a magic band on. So those are the kind of things that Disney World, extra magic you get with the magic band. But the reason I tell you as a handicap, you want the magic band is because this is also how you get on and off rides. This is how they scan you into the park. This is also your room key. You're able to get into your room. Now, the reason I say it's beneficial for a handicap, and I do not work for Disney. I'm not trying to sell you. Same with Inogen. I don't work for Inogen. I'm just trying to help people in my same position go on this trip and have all the information. But this Magic Band was very convenient because I don't know about you, but when I'm sitting there driving a scooter and you get up to the scanner, the other option is like I think you have like a card that you can scan at the rides, and those are your entry into the rides or into the park. You have like a little looks like a debit card or a key card for your room key, and then that's your Magic Band, but it's not on you. But that means like if you're in a scooter or a wheelchair, I don't know about you, but it's a pain in the butt to kind of reach down, get in your pocket, pull out that card, and scan that every time you want to utilize it. And you're going to be utilizing it a lot. Definitely, if you can utilize it to pay for your food at all the restaurants. You can utilize it to get onto your rides. I mean, just anywhere and everywhere you utilizing this Magic Band, but it's not 100% requirement, if that makes sense. It is an add-on. I think I paid $35 for this Magic Band, so they're not super expensive, but it just depends on you and your budget. But for a handicap, I had it on my wrist the whole time. I was able to just scan it, and just keep moving. I didn't have to really do a lot of digging in my pocket to go on these rides or to get into the parks or to open my door. Like if I was by myself and my wife and kid was already in the room, or if they wasn't with me, I was able to just reach up with my wrist and open the door with my Magic Band. And that's your key card to get into your Magic Band. So in my opinion, it was worth the $35. It was convenient. And if we choose to go back to Disney World in the near future, or unless they change the technology, you can take these back. So you can use it on another trip. So my personal opinion is I would definitely get it. And they come in different little things. They just had Disney 100, so we were able to catch the Disney 100 last year while we were planning the trip, but we didn't go until this year. I noticed in all the parks the Disney 100 merchandise is kind of weaned out, which I thought the Disney 100 stuff was pretty cool. Matter of fact, the shirt I have is Disney 100. Also, I like the Disney 100. It was pretty cool. But I'm going to show you the Magic Band my wife and my youngest daughter wore, because I think they're kind of neat. So I'll show them to you. So this one was mine. This one's my daughter's, and it's got a bunch of the characters: Donald Duck, Daisy, Goofy. I think Pluto's on there. Yeah, if you turn it around, got Pluto, Mickey, and Minnie. So it was a cute one. Oh, it's got my wife's favorite, Chip and Dale. Also, the Chipmunks, not the bow tie Chip and Dale. But she likes the Chip and Dale. She probably likes both Chip and Dales, to be honest. But her favorite Disney characters, the Chip and Dales. And then we have my wife's that she got, which is full of fireworks. And in the center, you see the Walt statue with holding the hand of Mickey. And I thought that was cool. That's also another Disney 100. You can see the Disney 100 logo there. It's also a Disney 100 Magic Band, but we thought these were really cool. But like I said, just word of advice. In my opinion, I think it helped having these versus reaching in my pocket all the time. So I would definitely suggest if you're in a wheelchair, scooter, using the oxygen machine, this is just one less step that you got to worry about, or losing that card or dropping it or anything, trying to dig in your pocket all day. So these Magic Bands, like I said, they're not overly expensive. I mean, $35 probably steep for this little thing, but you went to Disney World and you know what you paid to get to Disney World, so so it's not too bad. And you can buy it ahead of time, so just add it to your budget. But anyhow, so I just wanted to talk about the Magic Bands. Okay, so I think I'm done with all the props. So let's just magically let's magically get rid of these. Poof. And that's gone. Then Magic Bands are done. So I think the rest of the time it's just going to be me talking. One of the last things I kind of want to talk about is the fact that there is a system in place at Disney World. And matter of fact, there's a whole bunch of news going on after I got home that things are changing with this, but it's called the DAS Pass. It's this thing that they have that helps disabled people who have a hard time standing in line all day. So if you have an issue with being in line, if you getting stuck in a 2 hour line is an issue for you due to your disability, or even trying to get through there is makes it a hard time for you. Disney has something called a DAS Pass that you can apply for. I think it's 30 days before your trip. So you apply for this DAS Pass. They ask you a few questions, which this is part of the change. I think now you might have to actually show medical records on top of uh, the interview. I don't know if that's true, but I didn't have to show medical records when I did my interview, but we just came home and these rules are changing, I guess, in the next month or so. So if anybody else knows about the newer rules later, you might want to look into that. But for me, it wouldn't have been a problem anyhow. I've got plenty of medical records to show that I need the oxygen and everything. So even if they would have asked for medical records, it wouldn't have been a big deal to me. But it might be a big deal for some. Who knows? But anyhow, so this DAS Pass really changed our trip in a major way, because what the DAS does is, if you, and I'll put it up on the screen here, if you get on the My Disney Experience app, here it is there. But if you get on this My Disney Experience app, you click the little kind of the map icon. It's the little diamond circular with the point down. You click that and you go into the actual map. It'll show you ride times. Okay, this only works if you're during business hours. So if you're watching this video late at night, just know that it's not going to show you ride times. But if you download the My Disney Experience app, you can get on there and you can see, say you're in Magic Kingdom, Peter Pan's flight is, say, 40 minutes long of a wait, or the big one at Magic Kingdom, other than Tron, which is kind of a different beast. You have to do this virtual queue thing and everything. But say Snow White is 70-minute wait, or let's just say easy math, an hour and a half wait. Okay. So you get on the app and, you can see here the wait times. And we're going to click on Snow White's Dwarf Mine Ride, or whatever it's called. The Snow White roller coaster, okay, which is, I think, adorable. It was a cute ride. Absolutely loved it. So we're going to get on there. We're going to click that. And then after we click that, you're going to see a selection that says DAS, return time. Okay? So when you see the DAS logo, you're going to click that. This is assuming you got approved through Disney to use the DAS Pass. You're going to click that and say it's an hour and a half wait, and say it's noon right now. Okay? And you click that button, it's going to give you a return time for 1:30. Okay? So you're waiting the same amount of time as everybody else. You're just not doing it in the actual line. Okay? That's what the DAS is for. You're not cutting anybody. You're waiting the same amount of time. But the good news is you don't have to be confined to that line. If, say, your oxygen equipment, you do need to plug it in because the battery's dying on you and you got to go charge for that hour and a half. Or you were in a 2-hour line and hour and a half into it, your battery starts beeping and you got to go figure it out. You're not stuck in a line doing that. You actually can take care of your equipment in the medical tent or bathroom or wherever you got to go to do it, or back to your room. But you have a return time for 1:30 to go ride Snow White. Now you don't have to be there right at 1:30 to ride that ride. That is good for the rest of the day. But if you don't get there at 1:30, you can't set up your next dash. You got to scan your Magic Band, or if you have the card, you got to scan in. And then once, some of the rides have 2 scans. Some is the front of the line, and then further down the line, you got to scan again. After you scan both times, or if it's just a single scan on some rides, then you can get on your phone and set up your next ride that you want to ride. So you just rode Snow White. Now you want to wait the hour-long Peter Pan's flight, which is literally right down the road from Snow White. So you can get on Peter Pan's flight, and that'll give you, say, a 2:30 return time, because it's going to be an hour from the time you rode Snow White. Okay. So that's what the DAS does for you. You just go to the lightning lane instead of the regular lane. But that's what the DAS will do for you. And you're able to, say, go eat during that time, or go watch a show, or like, I know when we were there, It's a Small World had a 5-minute wait almost all day long. It's like nobody, for some reason, wants to get that song stuck in there. I mean, I thought it was a cute ride, but whatever. I get it. Some people don't want to ride that. You can go ride a 5-minute ride, that you don't really, it's kind of a walk-on ride. You can do whatever you want with that time. Or if your medical issues mean that you need to spend more time in the bathroom, or spend time dealing with your oxygen machine, or whatever it may be. But that's what the DAS does for you. And it really helped make our Disney experience even more magical than it already was. So we wasn't spending our whole trip standing in a 2-hour line to ride everything, which on Thursday of our trip would have been the worst, because Hollywood Studios was just jam-packed with so many people. It was just absolutely crazy. Every ride was pushing 2-hour wait, like every single ride. It actually took us 2 days, which we went for 5 days. So we knew we had an extra day to do whatever we wanted on that last day. And we chose to do Hollywood Studios 2 days, because it was so packed on our Thursday that we had to go back on Friday to finish Hollywood Studios, because we didn't get to ride everything. We didn't get to see all the shows, So we utilized our extra day on Hollywood Studios, because I wanted to, there was a Star Wars ride I didn't get to ride on Thursday, and I wanted to ride the Star Wars ride, stuff like that. So just to give you a heads up, that DAS is something that if you're on oxygen, I would definitely suggest signing up for that. It has definitely helped make our trip even better. But this was my experience at Disney, like I said, and I'll put up more pictures for you to see before this video ends. You'll see there's videos of other rides that we rode. We rode Guardians of the Galaxy. We rode, I think I already said, Tron, Snow White, Rise of the Resistance, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad. I mean, you name it. We were able to ride just about everything we wanted to ride. So Pirates of the Caribbean, Jungle Cruise, So, and I've got pictures on, whatever pictures that Disney, takes a picture of you on these rides. I have certain pictures I can share with you, along with some other pictures we got on our trip. We bought the Magic Maker photo pass thing. So you just walk up to a cast member and they'll take your picture, and it's just, you pay one price and all those pictures show up on the app, and you download them when you get home. It's really cool. So, but yeah, so I don't want you to fear going to Disney World on oxygen, because I mean, literally I was able to do just about everything. I wasn't very limited. They were so accommodating. So just to let you know, it really truly is the most magical place on earth. We had a blast. So until our next adventure, I don't know if you have questions for me or comments, just go ahead and put it in the comments. I guess people do this. Put them in the comments below. But I'll answer any questions. And if you liked this video, maybe I'll make some more. I don't know when my next adventure will be, but if I have another adventure and I can share my experience with you on oxygen, I'll share it with you. Maybe, who knows, maybe we'll do a cruise sometime down the road, and I'll explain what a cruise was like on oxygen. But until then, I don't know. I'll have to do my research, and hopefully I'll find more research on it than I did this. But this is the reason I made this video, is because I couldn't find a lot of research on people going to Disney on oxygen. So I didn't know I didn't know what kind of experience I was going to have. So until next time, stay safe. Hopefully your condition doesn't worsen and you can go have yourself a good time. Thanks, everybody.